Defining intelligence poses two questions. Is the mind separate from the brain, and can psychological assessments be justified? My name is Pat Keogh. I live in Killiney, Dublin, Ireland. Gardening, philosophy and writing are my hobbies. I am fascinated with the new Grange megalithic tomb. One of the most interesting parts of this tomb is the opening above the main entrance through which sun enters on midwinter's morning. The planning and construction of this monument, particularly with the aperture where the sun enters and stealthily creeps up the 19-metre passage to illuminate the inner chamber, is fascinating. It must have taken decades of planning and mapping the path of the sun rays to achieve this. At a time, 5,200 years ago, 1,000 years before Stonehenge, 500 years before the pyramids of Egypt, when human lifespan was short, and considering the many cloudy days we have in midwinter in Ireland. Intelligence involves creativity and planning and the execution of those plans. We have a mind that is linked to but separate from the brain. The brain can perform millions of billions of calculations per second, but it needs rest. When resting, the mind takes over. The mind never rests. In fact, the mind works best when the brain is at rest. Intelligence involves teaching people to think creatively and critically. Thinking is the essence of intelligence. Thinking is process. A thought is the product of thinking. A bucket of water taken from a river can be analysed, but that will not give us analysis of the rest of the water in that river. The same applies to psychological assessments. When psychologists assess intelligence, they are measuring experiences acquired mainly. Psychological assessments may measure a person's ability to cope in certain circumstances. You cannot limit the scope of the mind. It is unethical and wrong for one human being to assess another's intelligence and brand him or her with an IQ score. Psychological assessment should be abolished and replaced with a personal psychobehavioural profiling, with no labelling and no categorising or comparative scores. It should also include a person's abilities. Intelligence, like infinity, cannot be measured, but it can be defined. Planning and bringing the plans to fruition is part of that definition.